game. Blouses.
Gallon chuck.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
All right, welcome into another edition of the Post Game Pints podcast, brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery. Sean, brewery. I have trouble with that word after drinking a couple of beers from LaBrosse.
You could say brasserie if you want.
Brasserie? LaBrosse? Brasserie. That one's a lot easier.
It's a micro brasserie, by the way, and just check it out, labrosse.com. Whatever you want.
Very nice. You got the mango creamery one?
Creamsicle.
Creamsicle.
Do you like mango? Do you like creamsicles? This is the beer for you. Oh, wait. You don't like mango? You don't like creamsicles? Let me tell you, I don't like either of those. This is the beer for you. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, you got into your Green Bay Packers mug, and maybe we'll talk NFL football a little later on in the podcast, Sean, but I want to start with rapid fire. Once again, that's how we kick off every podcast, talking about some of the hotter issues in the world of sports. We start with hockey. I want to know how the Tampa Bay Lightning get over their cap crunch. They seem like they're screwed.
Yeah, they are screwed, and nothing has really happened, and they're going to have to be cap compliant whenever the season starts. I know we spoke about it in episode 2 when it's going to start. We don't know. But whenever the NHL starts, they will have to be cap compliant. There's a date, and there's a certain amount that you have to be over the cap. That's the reason why they haven't signed some of their RFAs just yet. But what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to package draft picks for that Tyler Johnson contract. They're going to have to package draft picks for Alex Killorn. They're going to they're going to have to trade Steven Stamkos. Those are the there's sending a first or a second. We've seen this happen before. Carolina got a first-round pick for Marlowe. What are you going to get for Tyler Johnson and Killorn just to get them up? They have to. There's no, they'll pay a penalty. Mitch, they have to be under the cap. So they will pay someone to take them off their books.
But, Sean, there's an issue. Tyler Johnson, no trade clause. Alex Killorn, no trade clause. Steven Stamkos, no movement clause. Like, these guys are all locked in, and if they don't want to move, they don't have to. So Tampa Bay, you say they're going to have to package a draft pick and potentially try to make the deal a little sweeter for the other team if they're going to acquire a guy like Tyler Johnson. The players, they hold all the cards right now. I really believe that the end game here is they are going to have to trade a guy like Sergachev or a guy like Cernak or a guy like Cirelli, somebody who has a really bright future, restricted free agent, and they don't want to do that. But I think they might have to because I'm looking at their situation, and the players seem like they're in control here.
Yeah, they are. So plan 1 is what I told you. Plan 1 is waivers, try and get rid of these guys via trade. Plan 2 is entice them with a draft pick. Plan 3 is maybe Stamkos if we can persuade him a certain way. Plan 4 is exactly what you said. They won't be able to sign their RFAs. That's plan 4. And they are in an interesting situation. They're Stanley Cup champions, but they will not be the same team. Not one bit.
I'll tell you one thing very quickly. Tell me what you think about this scenario where the Tampa Bay Lightning trade Sergachev to the Red Wings. The Red Wings sign him to a contract. Detroit retains salary and trades him back to Tampa Bay for more than he's worth.
I need a sip of beer.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
I did. Maybe it'll come to that. I think that's option 5. I give you 4 options. I think that's option 5.
I've heard that's a creative way of doing it.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out something. And you say Detroit because of the Brisebois-Yzerman connection. All right.
And Detroit has cap space, and they could use that cap space to maybe acquire draft picks or future prospects.
All right, I'm gonna ask this question on a rapid fire because I don't know if I have an answer. I'm gonna wait to see what your answer is. I kind of looked into this. I don't know if there is, but is there a team in the National Hockey League right now built like the Montreal Canadiens?
Yes, and it's a team that's successful. When I hear built like the Canadiens, I'm trying to think. Okay, no real superstar player. Relying on depth, relying on coaching, relying on goaltending, doing it different ways. Which team is this that's had success trying to build like the Montreal Canadiens? Some underrated players, guys on the third line that can perform. Sean, I think the Canadiens can be a better version of the New York Islanders.
I knew you were going to go. You were saying the Islanders or the Columbus Blue Jackets, one of the two.
Yeah, see, but I think the Blue Jackets are built completely different than Montreal. But I look at the Islanders, and I'm like, I see some similar things here. Now, the Islanders don't have a Carey Price. They've had goalies that have gone in there and played very well, including the guy who's now in Calgary, who's moved around a little bit. But I think that they have an opportunity here to be a team like the Islanders. But what do the Islanders do better than anybody else, and something the Canadiens haven't been able to do with their current players? Everybody buys in, and everybody plays for the team format. That's what they do better than anybody else. I think, though, if you want to be optimistic as a Canadian fan and think, okay, what can this team accomplish since they don't have a superstar player? I look at the Islanders. They don't really have that guy either, yet they're able to go deep in the playoffs the last couple seasons.
Yeah, okay, so I get your Islanders. When I was asked the question, I was like, okay, built around the goalie, a star goalie, and that's where all their money is, and they have to go a different route. And then I was like, okay, what about a team that's built with youth down the middle? They're relying on very young center icemen in Suzuki and Kotkaniemi. I couldn't find a team with that kind of youth down the middle. And the other thing that the Canadiens have is they're built and they're set up, whereas everybody's signed. I understand they have to deal with Tatar and Deneau and Armia down the line, but the Canadiens' core is set. There's no major decisions to make for the Canadiens, where other teams kind of have those decisions to make. There was no teams that were as active as the Canadiens in this offseason within a pandemic. So I really had a tough time figuring it out, and I was trying to find a team that had youth down the middle that they liked. But then I was finding teams that, they had youth down the middle, but now they're all 28, 29, 30, and they're old and a little bit over the hill. So I like your Islanders. I was thinking of like Logan Couture and Thomas Hertl down the middle with San Jose, and they were kind of getting rid of their old guys and then bringing in some youth. And I still don't see the comparison. I was having a tough time finding a team like the Canadiens. I really was.
Well, how old are the Islanders down the middle?
Yeah, well,
Matthew Barzal, their top guy, he's still a pretty young player. In fact, he needs a new contract. He's an RFA.
Yeah, 24 years old. And then you also have a guy like Pajot, which is very comparable, just signed a long-term deal, like to a Philip Deneau.
For sure.
But do they have a Kotkaniemi?
No, maybe not. But
do they have a Shea Weber? Do they have a Carey Price? Do they have a Brendan Gallagher? Maybe they're Gallagher, Anders Lee. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some really underrated guys on that Islanders blue line. I'll tell you that much. But all right. I'm curious. I think Devin Taves is a bigger loss than people realize for that team.
Oh, I think I texted you the moment that Colorado picked him up. I was like, I really like that pickup by the Colorado Avalanche, by the way.
Yeah.
Just note that. Devin Taves to Colorado, 2 thumbs up.
All right, so you want to talk some football? You mentioned football before.
Yes.
Yeah, well, your boy Devontae Adams, he claims he's the best receiver in football. You saw that story?
I did.
Who's the best receiver in football?
All right. I'm going to allow you to.
Please don't come from a place of bias.
Okay. I want to let you answer it first, so then you can say Davante Adams, and I have to go somewhere else.
Sean, I've watched a lot of games this year, especially since there's nothing to distract me from football. Football is the sport right now. It's the only thing going on. And, part of me wants to say DeAndre Hopkins, but man, oh man, when I watch the Seahawks, and I know he's a different type of receiver, and he's not maybe the fastest guy or the biggest breakaway threat, and he's not maybe the best for deep balls, but sheer athleticism and power and getting his hands on the ball and being a danger in the red zone, just all the things you want from a receiver. DK Metcalf, man, oh man, this guy's good. So I'm going to go with him. I want to say DeAndre Hopkins, but I just find watching Seattle, Metcalf seems to be in the highlights way more often at this point.
Okay. I really don't want to argue your DK Metcalf because I'm with you on it. I'm going to go, and I'm sorry.
I told you not to come at it from a place of bias.
Okay, but listen to me. I understand he has the best quarterback and a guy that knows how to throw the ball. But you have to look at it. So let's just say Davante Adams is the best receiver. Call him number 2 or number 3, but let's call him the best receiver, okay? What is Marquez Valdez-Scantling? 60th best receiver? What is Alan Lazard when he's healthy? 40th best receiver? I mean, we could go down the list of Packers receivers. You want me to give you the list of the 5 tight ends that they've been using? There are no other options. Aaron Rodgers says it every week. We look for 17. We try to throw the ball to 17. He gets double teamed every single game, and he walks out of that game with 13 receptions, 160 yards, and a touchdown, maybe 2. And he's still able to do that when the offense creates it, and it's all about him. It's like, you need help, you need help. It goes to him. He's one of the top receivers, and he missed 2 games already this year. I understand that Aaron Rodgers facilitates that, but there is zero help. DK Metcalf, your guy that you just mentioned, has Lockett. Lockett is a guy, he's just a reception machine. Hopkins, I get it. Julio Jones is another guy that you can bring up when it comes to top receivers.
Yeah, but
maybe
Atlanta has other threats. Calvin Ridley really helps take some of the brunt away from Julio Jones.
And I do not want to have this conversation without mentioning Michael Thomas, who has been hurt this year. Okay, I cannot have that conversation without saying Michael Thomas is the best receiver.
Well, he's been hurt.
But he's been hurt. I'm sorry, and I don't want to be biased. You chose DK Metcalf. But I'll say this. If you chose Davante Adams, which I think you were justified in saying, I would have chose DK Metcalf as the best receiver.
So my big question for you is, if you don't have a Packers mug in front of you, who are you saying?
Davante Adams.
If you don't have a Packers mug, though. Let's take the Packers out of the equation completely.
Okay, it's just a yellow mug. This is a Packers mug. This is a yellow mug, right?
Yeah.
It's just a yellow mug. I'm drinking my LaBrosse mango creamsicle beer. I get it. Boom. You're asking me the question. My answer, Davante Adams.
Fair enough.
Sorry. By the way, Mitch, who are you facing in fantasy this week?
I am taking on you, my friend.
Who are my 2 receivers?
Davante Adams and DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sean?
Yeah.
I'm just going to pause the Zoom for a second because I can pause the recording on the Zoom. My laptop needs a plug, or else we gonna die.
I don't want to die.
All right, we're back, Sean.
I was biased. I chose Davante Adams, but I'll take it. I'm living in my fantasy world right now. I got DK Metcalf and Adams. They run the show. I win fantasy weeks with 100 points. No one cares about my fantasy. My running backs had 5 points. My receivers do everything. Everything, Mitch. You're done this week. You're done. Done.
I'm done every week. I have never seen this. 9 weeks into a fantasy football pool. Not that anybody cares.
Nope.
Most points for.
It's so funny.
Most points for last place.
Yeah. You know what? Next time we do our fantasy draft, we should do it at the tap room at La Brosse because it's a beautiful tap room. It's got the space. It's got everything you need. I know when we are able to have the post-game pints podcast launch party, we're going to have it at La Brosse Brewery, and we're going to invite all of you that are listening via SoundCloud, YouTube, and to come check it out. But you should just check it out on your own. Check it out, labrosse.com. Has all the beers that you want, but I mean, they're open and you can go pick it up and they're ready for you whenever you want. And I will tell you, this mango creamsicle beer, I don't like mango. I like popsicles, but I don't like fruits in my beer. This thing is insane. I can have like 7 of them. It's awesome.
Sean, they are 7.4%. Don't have that many.
I'm just letting you know. Still rocking it. Still rocking it. Still rocking it.
Nice.
All right. Are you ready? Because Mitch, we haven't done it on the Post Game Pints podcast yet, but people have been asking for it. It's already episode 3. It's time for some editor headlines.
All right.
You always go first because I always wrap it up because I already know my number 5 is a winner. So you like I don't even care about my first 4. I just care about my last one.
All right, fine. Sean, I'll start off with Kevin Cash, the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. He has been named the American League Manager of the Year. So my headline reads,
Congratulations.
Tampa Bay, low on money, but high on cash.
Oh, I've got to react to it. You just love jumping in on anybody that has a good name that you can play with, right?
100%.
Like Kevin Cash, you were like, oh, headline, I don't even care what the story is. Low on money, high on cash. I already have the headline. You probably have a book of headlines with Kevin Cash ready to go.
You're lucky not all 5 are Kevin Cash headlines this week.
I thought you might go that route. We should bring back the Kevin Nash headlines. Kevin Nash. Go old school. New World Order, baby. All right. How's this for a name that you don't usually see a headline for? The Pittsburgh Steelers are perfect so far. Maybe they blew it against Cincinnati. Who knows? But they are perfect so far in the season. But they had a little bit of a hiccup with a COVID-19 scare with Vance McDonald, and Ben Roethlisberger had to go on the COVID-19 reserve list. Right, Mitch?
That's right.
So my headline reads, Ben Roethlisberger. Hey, you use Cash. I use Roethlisberger as a name. I got to get some points there. Roethlisberger. Okay, I tried. Maybe we'll pick up. I told you my number 5 is the only one I care about.
All right, Sean. The Boston Red Sox named Alex Cora as their manager. Of course, he used to be their manager, and then he cheated, and then they brought him back. So
Shea Cora. No, did I ruin it for you?
No, I was thinking of that one, but my headline reads, "Shaken to his Cora, Alex is back."
That's not bad. I don't mind that one at all.
Thank you.
Not bad. All right, I'm going to flash back to the big Sunday night football game over a week ago between the Saints and the Bucs. Everybody was watching it. Everybody wanted to find out who was going to be the best in the NFC South. It was Breeze and Brady, the 2 top guys with touchdown passes in the NFL, but it just turned out to be a dud. So the Saints breeze by the Bucs.
It's an easy one.
Hey, good play on words. Just give me a thumbs up, okay?
I give you a thumbs up. It works. It works. All right, my third headline, Sean. I'm going to go to hockey as the Dallas Stars get Rope Hintz signed to a new contract.
I didn't even go there. Rope Hintz. Well done.
Yeah. So my headline reads, Dallas gets Rope tied up in a knot.
I like it. Whatever it was fine. It was great. Use Rope into Hintz. You could use Hintz I don't care. Rope Hints headline. I'm in. Sold. Thumbs up on that one. All right. I'm going to go to Tua becoming the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins over the last few weeks. Big news.
How do you find a headline for Tagovailoa?
I used Tua.
Of course you did.
By the way, the pun on the words has nothing to do with him. Has to do with the quarterback that used to be the starter. So for the Dolphins, Tua is the right fit.
Well done. I
Come
give
on.
you that one.
I like that one too. Sorry, I did like that one.
All right, Sean, my fourth headline, the Dallas Cowboys lost another player. And on the defensive side of the ball, where they're already weak, Diggs is going to be out for quite some time. I think you know where I'm going, right? My headline reads, Cowboys hole, Diggs deeper.
Could have used that for the Bills and Stephon if you wanted.
Yeah, but he's been playing well.
Put it in your book, okay? Put it in your book if you want. Diggs. You just look for last names. You'll come up with any headline for it. That's all you do. Speaking of using last names for a headline, my fourth one, I go locally in Montreal. Mitch and I out of Montreal. The Montreal Impact. They made the playoffs, right? But they also took one of their top players and re-signed him for another year. Lewis Binks, one of their top defenders, one of the most young player coming out of Europe, coming to the MLS, wants to get his feet wet and then go back to Europe. But wasn't sure if the Impact were going to bring him back. So my headline reads, Lewis Binks, a new deal. All right. You know who would have liked that one? Even though he hates me right now? Jimmy G. Jimmy G would have loved that one.
All right, Sean, and I have one final headline, and actually it's on a story that you already spoke about. The New Orleans Saints trample the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in prime time. And I don't know if you saw this, but Tom Brady didn't look very happy on the sidelines. In fact, he looked very sad. So my headline reads, a big cry Brady.
I'll take it. You just want to take advantage of any moment that you can make fun of Tom Brady. That's exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
absolutely.
It. All right. So Masters weekend, defending champion, Tiger Woods. It's his course. Everything's different. It's been a year and a half, but there's just one major question. One major question when it comes to Tiger Woods. Mitch, are you a Seinfeld fan?
You know I am.
So my headline reads, will Tiger master his domain?
Times like times like these we need an audio clip.
For the win. Oh, I like that. Sorry, I kept that one. I was very proud of that one. All right, so Mitch, it's time to name that podcast. What do we got? What do you got for me this week?
We don't have a pop quiz?
Oh, damn, you're right. Pop quiz?
Not really pop quiz since I knew it was coming.
All right, I got a question for you. We'll name that podcast maybe after the pop quiz. All right, Mitch, I got a question for you. I was going to ask, how's this? I was going to ask top 5, but then I found it too hard. I was going to ask top 3, but I found it too hard. I'm only going to ask top 2. Top 2 playoff performances from an active player on a Canadian team, points-wise. So this player had to perform on a Canadian team, and he's still active in the NHL. The top 5 was way too hard. I thought the top 5 was...
What do you mean, one game?
No, in a playoff season. Best playoff performance in a season on a Canadian team from an active player. I'm only asking for the top 2.
Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson.
Pettersson was number 4 on the list from this past season.
And
JT Miller was number 5. They were tied. They both had 18 points. So Pettersson and JT Miller from this past season with Vancouver was number 4 and 5. So one, you have to go back in time. One, you don't have to go that far to.
Spezza?
Spezza from what year? But it's Spezza.
2006?
Yeah. 6-7. Spezza had 22 points. It's the best performance from a player on a Canadian team that is still active. Jason Spezza.
So I got number one.
You got number one, just like that. In 2006-7, Jason Spezza. Boom, just like that. And I was going to say my clue for you was going to be a player that's always on the pop quiz, and then you would have got it. Number two, just a couple of years ago, but I wonder if you can pick it up.
Just a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago.
He had 21. He had 21 points.
What year?
2018.
Oh man, 2018. Mark Scheifele?
He had 20 points.
Scheifele did?
Scheifele had 20 points. So who had 21?
Wheeler?
Blake Wheeler. Good job. Good job on that one.
I'm happy with myself. Hey, I got two, one kind of.
Yeah. You didn't get JT
Sorry,
Miller.
hold on. I got one, three kind of.
You got
two,
you got the top four. You got the top four.
And I think I would have got JT Miller. I think I would have got 5. I just needed more time.
Yeah, good job. Hey, does that mean we can name the podcast now? Oops. You see that? That was our lacrosse card.
Nice. All right, we're up against the clock.
Let's go. Name the podcast.
What are we naming the podcast?
I was gonna say Master of Our Domains.
Sold.
Boom.
Just like that. I was going to go Big Cry Brady, but I like yours better.
Me too. Thanks, LaBrosse. Check it out, labrosse.com, head sponsor of the Post Game Pines podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers.